All right. So in this season, we want to look at measurement of construction works, and that is we want to focus on what? Roofs. Okay. We want to focus on the word roofs. Okay. I'm sure each and every one of us have heard of roofs before, and roof is the most important aspect or component of a building because you realize that without a roof, you are going to struggle from a lot of natural disasters. Okay. So before we even proceed or dive deeper, I want to show you some components of the roof. Okay. And that is the ones we are going to be focusing on for now. Okay. Take note, this is the purlin we're having over here. Okay. This is the purlin we're having over here. It's a straight member that runs throughout. And also, this is the common rafter. Okay. So this is the common one that we are going to be channeling most of our hot calculations to. So look at it where you say it's looking in the form of a triangle, something like this. Exactly. So these ones are the rafters. These ones you are seeing are the rafters. Exactly. 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 Okay. So this is also a rafter you are seeing over here. You can see a principal rafter. Okay. Yes, you can see a principal rafter. I want to quickly flip to a different section and show you some details as you are seeing over here. I'm sure these lines are familiar to you. This one, two, and three. I hope they are familiar to you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Please, where did you see them? Can you give me a reference or a review of where you think you saw them? They are
On a
called.
plan of a foundation.
Okay, thank you very much. And what is the name given to them in drawings?
I think extension lines.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The last but not the least question. What is normally the line weight that is given to them during drawing seasons correlated to AutoCAD?
Forgotten. I forgot.
All right. All right. So it is 0.05. Okay. 0.05. And it is always supposed to be hot, centered. That is the line type is always supposed to be centered. Okay. So out of a ground floor plan, this thing was established. Okay. When you draw the cross section through the ground floor plan, you realize that you are going to see the section this way, and this one, two, three you were seeing initially. This is appearing over here again. Exactly. So the cross section through the roof, you can see that these are the rafters we were talking about. Okay, can you see the rafter? This is the rafter. Can you see the rafter like this? Uh-huh.
Yes.
So this is the rafter. This is also the rafter over here again. Okay, and it is pitched at an angle of what? 25 degrees. This is the 25 degrees over here. Can you see the 25 degrees? It's very, very, very important, and we call it the pitch of roof. Okay, the word is pitch. So if you hear pitch, you should know that they are just talking about the what? Angle. Okay, the angle at which the roof slope. Because if you don't give it a slope, if rain fall, the rain cannot run off. Okay, so basically, roof are classified into two. Okay, that is we have the flat roof. Okay, we have the flat roof and also the pitch roof. We have the flat roof and also the pitch roof. Okay, yes. So I want you to take note that for the flat roof, for the flat roof, let me just use it short like this, okay? So that I don't get confused. If you see this, just know it is a roof. For the flat roofs, they normally have an angle degrees of what? 0 to what? 10 degrees. Exactly. But you have to know that when we talk about the pitch roof, the angles ranges from what? 10 degrees and what? More. 10 degrees and more. Exactly. Please, at this point, I would like to take some one or two few more questions before we proceed. Please, do you have
I think
any question, any contribution you wish to add to the studies to make it much more history?
no, please.
All right, all right, all right. So, what other member can you discover, or what other member can you see that you saw in other drawings initially? All right. So let's quickly flip back to the other drawing and let me show you something. So this is the so let's say this is the roof framing plan. Okay. For this, we'll come back to it later, but you can just quickly have a look at it. This is the roof framing plan and the woods, the direction of the woods and the placement and the woods and all that. Okay. Uh-huh. I want you to also note that this over here is the roof cover. Okay. If you see roof cover, it just means the roofing sheets. Okay, the roofing sheet that they'll put on it is called the hot roof cover. So they say that roof covering plan. You don't need to get confused. That same one, two, three. You are seeing that is it over here. But this is the plan view of it. Okay, it's like if you take a drone and you go to the top of the building and you take the picture from the top. Okay, that is why we call it the plan. If they came to stand in front of the building to take the picture, it would have been hot front elevation. But if they cut a section through, assuming you assume that you have cut here like this, okay, and you have taken this part off, then what you are seeing over here is what you draw. That is why they have shown an arrow over here. Like you see that this arrow is showing to this direction. This arrow is showing to this direction. So the section that they cut through, no, is it was assumed like this whole part was taken off. So what you are seeing over here is what you are drawing. What you are seeing over here is what they were drawing. Okay, so that is what you saw in the cross section I displayed to you initially. And let me show you the cross section one more last time again. This is it. So are you getting to visualize what I've been trying to talk about for quite a while now?
Yes.
Exactly. Let me quickly take you to SMM7 and let's see how we can also become a little bit history from there even before we start. Okay. I want you to take note that the SMM7, you have to always use it when you are doing your measurement of construction works. Okay. It is as simple as that when you open the SMM7, you just have to keep opening to you just locate the summary of contents. And when you locate the summary of content under the detailed content, like page one, that is the preface, you can find the hot general rules. They are made of A, B, C, D, up to hot Y. Okay. Yes. etc, etc, etc. So you have to also know that it has some appendix and also some additional rules, okay, as well. Okay. But related to what we are studying now, we say we want to focus on what roofs. Okay. And roofs, they can both be classified into, let's say, construction or what carcassing or even covering. Okay. And you can find them over here. That is G and H. So you can see that under gene, they've written structure or carcassing, metal or timber. Okay. And for H is the cladding or covering. Okay. So covering is roof, like you've built something and you are covering it. Okay. So let's quickly open to that page. By G and H, where can we find? You say that there is no number relating to that. If you want to open the book, we are going to struggle. There are 178 pages. So we have to be able to look for a very simple way of looking for that. So we have to now come to the detailed content. Okay. We have to now come to the detailed content and then we come and look for H and G. So let's locate G first, then we can now go and locate the H. So this is G over here. Can you see the gene over here? This is gene over here. And under the gene, what we are looking for, we can just quickly look for it and we are good to go. Okay, this is structural steel framing. This is aluminum steel framing. We have, look, carpentry, timber framing, and first fit. So we can even consider this one. Okay, that is page hot 67 and it is hot gene 20. As simple as that. Let's also locate for some pages and then the H. Then we can now dive deeper. Okay. So we now also underline H. Let me use a different color pen to enhance understanding. As easy as ABC. So from here, we just have to locate that. And you see that we can even locate it under. Can you see timber? Can you see timber somewhere? Tell me, kindly mention the number of timber to me. Quickly, 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 and let's proceed. Under which number can you find timber?
64, H64, timber.
Yes, 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 yes. So you see that you can locate one timber over here. You can just try and locate all of them, take them with your pencil, then you can take time to go and search. Measurement of construction works is very, very flexible. So this is also one over here. Okay. So we will now take time and go back to all of them and see what we can find over there related to the study. Thank you very much for that contribution. So even let's start by going to what? 67. Okay. So that is G. Okay, you can say that this is still F column. So I'm going to look. So this is G, and this is structures, carcassing, metal, and hot. or timber. So this is the page we have to look for what we are searching for. Okay. So let me just quickly, first of all, I want to talk about something even before uh, I zoom today. Okay. But we can look for the roofs, and you can see that what we are looking for, this is it over here. So it is under Gene 20. It is under Gene 20. And this page is page 76. Okay. I want to quickly run to somewhere and I'll be back shortly. Look at it. Please, what was the number of the page I just mentioned? Please, what was the number of the page I just mentioned? Can you see Gene 20 over here? So Gene 20 is what we are supposed to be searching for. Okay. Gene 20 is what we are supposed to be searching for. Exactly. So Gene 20, this is our Gene 20 over here. Can you see the Gene 20? So this is Gene 20. Exactly. So once you locate that, then you know that you are the right place. That is what you have to search for. Uh-huh. This is the Gene 20. Let me take time to design it well. This is our Gene 20. You don't have to rush us, so you just have to just take your time because you have to be precise. Yes. As a builder, you are just like a doctor. And the little mistake you do, you are going to kill so many people. A doctor can kill a person at a time, but for you, are going the least mistake you do, you can kill like thousands of people at a time. So you say that even you have more precision is required in this stage. So we are focusing on roof. So this is what roof members. Can you see it over here? So if you want to write it, like if you want to write it that we can be able to search for it or use it as a reference material, but then how can we classify it? Let's start. We are writing a book. So it's going to be what G 20.9. Please, am I making history in a logical and coherent manner?
Yes.
All right. So if you are able to write like the notes you are writing, the pen and paper you pick, and your calculator, if you're able to pick your pen to just write Gene 20 somewhere, point 0.9, it will help you far better in the future because you realize that even in the future, if you don't have to go back to detailed content to go and be looking for proofs and the rest, once you even know this short code, Gene 20.9, it is even enough. And that is what an engineer is made of. You see. So the code is Gene 20.9. So this is how you can easily locate it. And what did I tell you earlier? I told you that we have two types of roof. And roof are classified as what? The flat roof and or the hot pitch roof. You see over here. Exactly. 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 We have like the roof can be fixed in so many ways. And then but we'll come back to that later. If I say the pitch, it's just the angle at which the roof is being sloped. But for flat roofs, it doesn't mean that they don't have an angle. The angle just ranges from, let's say, 0 degrees to 10 degrees. That is it for flat roof. But for pitch roof, they are hot 10 degrees and more. You see. So at the end of the day, this is the what classification table. So you have to note this too. For the classification table, no matter what, this is where you are going to classify the thing under your description column. Okay. Yes. So the classification table is very, very, very important. And how many columns can you find over? You can see that we have about, let's count them together. This is 1, 2, 3. You see. So this is 4 and what? This is 5. Okay. For the fourth one there, they are just trying to tell you something. These roof members over here, the flat and then the pitch, what are they measured in? You can see that they are telling that they are measured in hot meters. Okay.
Yes.
So it is just explaining something to you. So if you are describing the roof, you have to describe it in terms of what? Uh, as to it being flat or pitched. Okay. Also, let's go and look at. You can even make reference to this column 5 too, and that is what you can say that the length may be greater than 6.00 meter in one continuous length, or even the length that was stated. You can use that. Okay. Yes, and it should be in logical manner related to this. Okay, and vice versa. So This is also a supplementary info. Like if you are not enough with the information you pick over here, you can come and pick some for the supplementary information. Okay. So you are good. You can just you with this stage for using of measurement of construction work for the classification table. Once you pick one over here to classify, you pick one from all this column, just the classification table. So if this whole classification is one, you see that classification alone as a whole column, it has 5 column within again. So from there, you come to what this next one. Okay. Then you come to the supplementary information to come and pick some other information to classify it. So you can see that we have what S1, S2, S3. Don't get confused. S1 means supplementary information 1, S2 means supplementary information 2, S3 supplementary information 3, S4 supplementation, and it continues like that. Okay. It continues like that. And then, so without beating about the bush or talking much, let's let me also open the H for you. Let's open the H together, and then from there we can start solving some questions. And I believe that life is going to be much more easier from there. Okay. So with the H, let's locate roof. Can you see roof over here? Can you see the roofs? The one I just
Yes.
underlined. So that is it over there. As simple as that. There are not too many informations provided over here like that. Let's quickly start to solve some problems. But before that, please do you have any question you wish to ask? Do you have any question you wish to ask before we proceed?
Yes.
Okay, so please, I'm listening.
I want to know why we are using timber and not metal. I saw metal in the SMM7. Is it
Thank
because you know that when you are building a house, a whole house, the rafter and the pellets you have to use is wood. That's why we are using that, because in this modern world nowadays people are using metal to build their rafters and pellets. So I want to know why we are using timber by force.
Okay, the issue is that when it comes to like some natural phenomenons that occur, like especially fire outbreak, you know that timber is more resistant to fire than metal. Okay, so in this case, they are using timber instead of metal because they know that in terms of fire outbreak, like if the house is burning now, timber will be able to stand the fire than the metal. Because let's just perform an experiment now. Assuming you set fire, okay, you set fire over here, the fire is blazing a whole lot, like the fire is blazing, okay, and maybe you hold spoon. Okay, let's say you have a spoon over here like this, and you put the tip of the spoon, you hold this side. Okay, let's say your hand is around this side like this. Okay, yes. And now this other side is in the fire is burning, it's like this. You realize that in 2 minutes time, or like in some few minutes, the heat would have traveled. Okay, the heat would have traveled from this direction. Okay, the heat would have traveled from this direction, and with some few minutes you will feel the heat within your hand at the other end of the spoon. Do you realize that? But if it was a wood, the only condition under which you feel the heat is when the wood have to burn to where your hand is before you feel the pain. Do you understand me? So for metal, the metal is not able to withstand fire because uh, the molecules that make up the metal, they are easily accelerated by hot kinetic energy, and once they gain kinetic energy, a lot of repulsion occurs. Okay, so they depreciate. It depreciates. So metal is not too active in terms of fire resistance. That is why in modern buildings now people use timber because they realize that the timber is more durable. The timber is more durable. Okay, please, are you okay with the answer I gave you, or you wish I could still throw more light to make you much more history?
I'm okay.
All right. If you find my explanation very, very useful, you can throw $1 on my name if you happen to meet me in person, in groups, one on one, or online. All right, let's proceed. So I said I wanted us to solve some question. Okay. So I want you to know that
Please, I can't hear you.
I'm saying that I want us to start solving some questions now. Okay. So Right away from here, I want to tell you that roof members are measured in meters, just as I told you. That is the linear meters, okay? And the members of the roofs that we are going to be focusing on in this calculation, we are going to be focusing on the rafters and also the purlins, okay? Just as I showed you in some few slides ago. And also, we are going to be focusing on the rafter. Okay, so for the meantime, let's focus on the rafter and purlins. Then later we'll come and also talk about the hangers. Okay, so this is the hanger I'm writing over here. The hangers. Okay. We're also going to be doing it for the nodings. We're also going to be doing some calculation for the nodings. Okay. But before that, so let me put ETC over here. But before that, let's just begin. Let's quickly begin. So I want to just project a whiteboard and then we see how best we can carry it from there.